Hello everyone and welcome to our first in the International Playline Doll series, and this is introducing Juanita Pérez from Mexico. In this video I'm going to tell you all about Juanita Pérez, a little bit of history about Mexican dolls and dolls in Mexico, and hopefully you guys are going to learn something and have a little fun at the same time. So, International Playline Dolls, why are we doing this? Dolls are such an important part of human history and human culture. One way to learn more about a culture is through their dolls. With this series, we're going to learn about a play doll from a different country each year. And through this, I hope to introduce you to a new doll while learning a little culture at the same time. You know, one of the things about dolls is they've been around for thousands of years. You know, when archaeologists look at dig sites, they find figures and statues and dolls of different types. Now, whether or not those were dolls for play or dolls for some sort of religious ceremony or things like that, you know, there's differences in those things, but it's still important and it's still interesting to see that dolls have always been a part of human culture, you know, for the most part. So just today, learning more about some of the dolls in different countries is very exciting for me, and it's a passion of mine, and so I wanted to share that with all of you. We're going to have a snack break at the real event, but if you're at home watching, I recommend you pause your video and go get you a snack right now and come back so that you can learn more about Juanita Pérez with a snack in hand. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to play a round of Spanish bingo. Spanish is the official language of Mexico. So we're going to review some Spanish terms that are related to the Juanita Pérez doll. Now, if you're an absentee for Modern Doll and you ordered the Juanita Pérez doll, you will be receiving one. If not, then, you know, just you're going to learn some Spanish here today that does relate to her. If you see the Spanish term on your bingo card, you can mark it off. The bingo card is available in the video description. There's a link to download the bingo card. If you want to print the bingo card out and play along, you can do that. I would recommend pausing the video now and go print your bingo card and then come back. Bingo is 4 in a row, horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. So let's get started. The first word is muñeca. Juanita Pérez is a beloved muñeca from Mexico. The next word is ojos. Your Juanita doll has beautiful brown ojos that open and close. Next is pestañas. When Juanita closes her eyes, you can see her long, pretty pestañas. Maquillaje. Juanita's maquillaje features soft pink eyeshadow and glittery, festive pink lips. Vestido. Juanita is ready for the derby in her rose-printed vestido. Sombrero. No derby would be complete without a fantastic derby sombrero. Aretes. Juanita's look is complemented by a pair of pretty silver aretes. Zapatos. Juanita's white flat zapatos are stylish and cute, perfect for walking around Louisville. Medias. Juanita's medias help keep her feet dry and comfy while walking. Bolso. Juanita carries a beautiful bolso adorned with a rosette. Calzones. Juanita also has a pair of dainty lace calzones under her dress. So tally up your card and see if you won bingo, and I hope you learned a few Spanish terms in the process. Now let's talk about the history of dolls in Mexico. In the Americas, it is believed that pre-Hispanic children played with dolls made with clay, palm, and corn hair. They were commonly used in the burial ceremonies of some children to protect them from evil spirits during their trip to Mictlan, the Aztec underworld. And so what you see here is the depiction of the Aztec underworld, Mictlan, in a drawing that has been found by archaeologists. And then also we have some clay dolls here. And again, these dolls probably weren't played with. They were likely part of burial ceremonies. But also a lot of the thing, or a big thing about dolls, you know, palm and corn hair and wood, those types of things don't really last hundreds of years. They usually disintegrate or they decay. So there's not a lot of stuff that we can find, you know, modern humans can find when they're looking at this stuff. But some things have been found, and this is what, you know, scholars and archaeologists generally agree on, is that these were used in the burial ceremonies of children, and they help protect them from evil spirits. The first dolls, as they're known today, appeared in Mexico in the 16th century. And that's kind of, you know, the post-Columbian era. Porcelain dolls brought from Europe were generally too expensive for indigenous children, so their mothers began making dolls from scraps of cloth. So they would also have dolls like the Peninsular and Creole children that were also there. So that was kind of something that started happening as an equalizer, because the indigenous children didn't have these types of dolls, and so their mothers wanted them to have the dolls as well, and so they began making them for them. This is how the famous Maria's dolls were born, and you will see these in Mexico, and they're a very traditional doll made by hand, and they're really wonderful. I am lucky to have one that my brother-in-law bought for me in Mexico. They're really beautiful dolls, so if you ever get the opportunity to get an authentic one, I highly recommend it, because they're very sweet, and they have a lot of history and culture behind them, and they're very meaningful. By 1919, the doll industry was alive in Mexico. So kind of like what we see today, the modernization of doll making, 1919, that's when it kind of got kicked off in Mexico. There were factories throughout the country making dolls, such as the one at the right, and this factory was called El Cifiro, and this was taken in 1920. This photo is from El Universal Ilustrado, which is a newspaper from Mexico. And so you can see in the photo the ladies there making dolls, and I just think this is such a great photo to show kind of, you know, how dolls came to be and the history of dolls. Now, I think no presentation about dolls in Mexico would be complete without a discussion of the Ledy Company. Ledy Company, it operated in Mexico from 1955 to 1985. It was purchased in 1975 by the General Mills Group, so it lasted another 10 years after that, and then they closed up. One of their most famous dolls was Lagrimatis Lily, who cried, and that Lagrimatis, you know, it has to do with crying, and so that was one of their most famous dolls here, and here's a picture of her from a catalog. They produced a lot of dolls in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and early 80s. Now, some of the dolls that they manufactured were also some of the same dolls from the States. So Rosita Fresita, she was manufactured with permission. They had permission to manufacture this doll, and if you see her, you probably know that she is Strawberry Shortcake. Some of the dolls they manufactured are believed to be copies. They did not have permission to do that. One of those examples is Chrissy. Chrissy, manufactured by the Ledy Company. This is a Chrissy from my collection. She is smaller than the US version. Her eyes are a different size, and it is believed that she is smaller because the original doll was copied. And when a vinyl doll is copied and molds are made, there is shrinkage involved with that. And so she is believed to be an unauthorized copy of a Chrissy doll, although that information can really not be, validated. So she could have been authorized by Ideal, but it is mostly believed from Chrissy collectors that she was not. But the Ledy Company did have authorization to make a lot of different toys. They made a lot of Star Wars toys, and a lot of other dolls. So they made a lot of different things, but that company is one of the main ones in Mexico that manufactured a lot of dolls through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and early 80s. And I think it's just important to talk about them because there's a lot of collectors of these dolls today. Modern dolls in Mexico. So let's talk about that. Traditional dolls are still available in Mexico today, but as in many places, the popular dolls are not really the traditional ones. So you've got the Marias that we talked about earlier, but that's not really popular with children. The dolls sold in most Mexican department stores are the same Barbies, Disney princesses, and LOL dolls that we see here in the States. This snapshot that you see is a snapshot from an online department store from Mexico, and you can see you got Disney princesses, you got a Barbie, you got your LOL doll. That is they kind of play with the same things that the kids in the States play with, and the kids really across the world. Those are kind of your big dolls. If you look at the market share in Mexico, Mattel actually has the largest market share of any toy manufacturer, followed, I believe, by Hasbro. So there's not a lot of, truly Mexican dolls left in Mexico, but there is the Juanita Pérez company. There are a few of these dolls, these Mexican doll companies, that continue to make dolls, and Juanita Pérez is one of them, and she is very special for so many reasons. This is a snapshot from their website of some of their dolls, and they are still in business today. So let's talk more about the company. Who is Juanita Pérez? Although Juanita is 100% Mexican, her story starts in Spain in 1962. Her creator, Senora Guillermina Green, she was a Spanish actress living in Mexico. On a return trip to Spain, she fell in love with a popular doll, Mariquita Pérez, who you guys may have heard of before if you're into Spanish dolls, although Mariquita actually was created in Portugal, but she became really big in Spain. Well, Senora Guillermina decided that the children of Mexico needed their own doll with a Mexican identity, and of course the doll needed to be fabricated in Mexico. So the Juanita Pérez doll was born. The first dolls produced in the Pérez family were Juanita and Manolín, and that very much mirrored the Mariquita and Juanín from Portugal and Spain. And so you can see this picture. This is a Juanita and a Manolín from my collection, and then on the right there's a Mariquita and Juanín picture from Spain of them that's a promotional picture. The Juanita you see in this picture is from the mid-70s, and the Manolín is from the late 70s to early 80s. The earlier classic Juanita Pérez dolls have some very distinctive features. They have a distinctive eye mechanism that is unfortunately kind of faulty. They didn't stand the test of time too well. They also have, the Juanitas especially, have heavy makeup. They have heavy blue eyeshadow, and they also have 3 eyelashes painted per eye, and you will see this on all of the Juanita dolls throughout this period. You can see Manolín also has the 3 eyelashes. She also had quite a family of companions. She had Anita, the big sister, and there are 2 examples of Anitas here, the taller dolls in the back. She had Manolín, the brother, who you just saw. She had Prima, the cousin, and Prima in Spanish means cousin, so that's a clever name. So this is a Prima standing here, the mid-sized doll. The brunette is also a Prima, and in front you can see a Prima wearing a blue dress. She is seated. Rosita is the little sister. You can see 2 Rositas standing in front. They are the smaller standing dolls that are here in the photo. And then we also have Los Gemelos, which are the twin babies. There was a boy and a girl twin. Mine are actually both girls, but one is wearing the boy's outfit. And they're not anatomically correct, but the girl had pierced ears, and so that's how I know mine was pierced. You can also see in this photo of the Gemelos, you can look at the boy Gemelo and see how the eyes kind of sunk back. That's one of the telltale things that happens with the older Juanita dolls because of the way the eye was manufactured. They also had some classic fashions. So Juanita and family have a long tradition of beautiful well-made clothing. Many of the pieces from the 70s and 80s are tagged. And you can see this is a collection of tags from the different Juanita dolls. Juanita had a wardrobe that ranged from civilian to regional traditional Mexican outfits, swimsuits, jeans, and dresses. So she had all sorts of fashions, and they're one of the things that collectors of Juanita today love to collect those fashions for their dolls. So here's a classic fashion example. This is a classic Juanita fashion. This is also her original box, so I think it's so fun to see an example of the original box. This photo is courtesy of my friend Maru, and you can find it at her blog, ninitons.blogspot.com. I hope I said that right, I'm not sure. We also have, here is a collage she did of classic Juanita fashions, and you can see all the different fashions here. We've got some florals, we've got a sailor dress, we've got some gingham. There's all sorts of different things here, and these are classic fashions from the 70s. This is a Sevillana outfit. That's really hard for me to get out, sorry. From Seville, Spain, or Sevilla in Spain. That is the traditional dancer's outfit from Sevilla. And so with the founder of the Juanita Pérez company being from Sevilla, you have Juanita with those outfits. This picture is courtesy of my friend Julieta, who has a beautiful collection of Juanita Pérez dolls. Definitely give her a follow on Instagram if you're on Instagram and you want to see more of these beauties. Here is Juanita in a pink dress. This is a classic pink dress, and I think this is just beautiful, and it just shows kind of the differences of fashions and the different styles that the Juanita Pérez company had. This is courtesy of Cynthia H. and can be found at her blog, muñecasyjuguetes.com/Juanita Moda, and Moda means clothing. So there's her pink dress. And here are Juanita and Rosita in pajamas, courtesy of Elsa M. She sent me this picture, but these are a classic set of their pajamas, which I think are super cute. Alright, so let's talk about the classic experience. There were several stores around Mexico dedicated to selling Juanita, her family, and her clothing. Many collectors of Juanita today fondly remember going to those stores to choose their dolls as children. Juanita was not an inexpensive doll, so very similar to the American Girl dolls that many children in the States treasure today. The Juanita dolls were a really special treat. You know, they could go to the store and pick out their Juanita, and they hold really treasured memories for the children that had them in their youth. Now, the photos that you see here are from the 70s from a Juanita Pérez store that was open at that time. There are no longer any stores dedicated solely to selling Juanita, but she is available in a department store, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I just find this so fascinating, this history of Juanita, and how there were the stores dedicated just to selling her and her family and her clothing. Just, to go back in time and see something like that. Now let's talk about the contemporary dolls. So the dolls today have a softer makeup look, more contemporary clothing, and the open closed eyes have been updated so they aren't as easily broken. The Juanita Pérez company even does special dolls sometimes, like the monster doll seen in this picture, courtesy of my friend Julieta. She has a few of these monster dolls. I think they were a really cute special edition that they did. The doll, the brunette you see in front, is one of my Juanita dolls, and she is a contemporary doll. She was bought in Mexico City by a friend of ours and brought to me. The Manoline is my vintage Manoline that you've seen before. The contemporary family. So today, Juanita's family consists only of Juanita, Julieta, and Julio. They are the new edition twins. They're like the gemelos, but they're an older child. You can see they're not babies anymore. And Julieta is named after a famous collector of Juanita dolls whose pictures you've seen throughout this program. And she's actually the person who introduced me to Juanita Pérez, and to her I'm very grateful for that, because I love this doll and I think she's absolutely fantastic and a gorgeous doll to have in any collection. Some contemporary fashion examples. So Juanita continues to have a large variety of fashions today, which you can see if you are here at our event. Some of these are our event centerpieces. Now, those of you who are watching at home, of course, you're not able to participate in the centerpiece drawing, but if you were here, you would see these here. So this is a ballerina outfit. We also have this adorable outfit with the purple faux fur. We have this this cute red top and black skirt outfit. I love this outfit. It's just ready for winter, so cozy, just, you know, getting you in that mood for the winter. Now, the experience of Juanita today. Today, Juanita, Julieta, and Julio can be purchased from Amazon in Mexico, which does not ship to the United States. Or you can go in person to the Mexican department store, Palacio de Hierro. So how many of you are able to buy from Amazon Mexico or go to this department store? Probably not many of you, but luckily for those of you who registered here with Modern Doll and who registered for this event, you do not have to travel to Mexico to adopt your very own Juanita Pérez. We have arranged to have them brought here, and I hope that you guys love them. If you're watching at home and you did not order a Juanita Pérez, if there are any extras, they'll be available in the Modern Doll souvenir shop after the convention has completed. And for those of you who are going to be receiving one, congratulations on your new Juanita Pérez doll. They're absolutely fantastic, and I just know you're going to love it. I just want to say thank you so much for watching and giving me your attention today as you learn the history of Juanita Pérez. I hope that it's given you a little bit of if you've learned a little bit about dolls in Mexico and given you a little bit of appreciation about the doll story of Mexico. So again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.